Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Josh here from Momentum Productions. Let me turn off my heater here. Today we are going to be looking at something pretty awesome, and that is Zhiyun-Tech's newest gimbal, and it is in here. This is the Zhiyun-Tech Smooth 4. And I hope you guys are really excited. So we're going to wait a couple more moments for some people to tune in here. And I'll go ahead and unbox this. Of course, this is the beta version. This is not the full production model. This is the beta version. The full production model will be available later this month. And of course, I will be reviewing it. But I want to give you just a little bit of a tease to see what this actually looks like, okay? All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and have a look and see what's inside. Okay, so again, as I said before, this is not the production model, so we are going to have different packaging in the full production model. So this is what I have with me right now. This is the Smooth 4. Okay, so let's have a look here. Here we go. Here's our Smooth 4. All right, again, I don't even know if this is going to be a part of the whole package, this little cover here. So don't look at the packaging as of right now. And we're supposed to get, I believe, a tripod to go along with this whole setup here. Okay, let me go ahead. I need to access the live stream chat box because I can't see what you guys are saying right now. I wish YouTube did a better job at live streaming. Okay, so here's the Smooth 4. As you can see here, we have a knob on the side. This is going to allow us to adjust stuff like focus and zoom, and it's very smooth. It's plastic with a rubber ring on the rim, so we have a grip for it. Again, I feel like they are going to make some changes to this because it does feel a little bit weak, and I've seen some complaints of other beta testers saying that this pops off really easily. So I believe that they're making some more hardware adjustments to the Smooth 4 as we speak. So the full production model again is going to be released within about 2 weeks, I would say. And yeah, that's what it's going to be looking like. Again, the stupid YouTube live stream, man. I can't access the chat. They make it very difficult. Okay, let me see if I can access it right now. Here we go, live control room. Sorry about this, guys. Give me one moment here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Now I'm starting to get people's comments. Okay. All right, waiting for the purchase link like mad. Yeah, so it's not available to purchase just yet, guys. So this is something that we do have to be patient on. I'm very excited about the full production model. It's going to be slightly different. So okay, let's set this thing up. So unlike any other gimbal that I've seen for smartphones, at least that Zhiyun-Tech makes, is that we have a little locking clip. So that means that the roll arm isn't going to be swinging around. You actually have to, did you guys hear that little click? There's a little safety notch that, boom, locks the roll arm in place so it doesn't swing around. So I like that new feature. This is a feature that I wish the crane gimbals had. I really would have liked them to have that little lock there. So that would have been really nice. And yeah, so yeah, that is the lock. Also, we have physical stops on each axis, so we do not get 360 degrees of movement, but we get plenty of movement, just enough to do all the moves that we would like. So each axis has a stop. Do you guys hear that? There is a stop. By the way, let me know the live stream quality. I don't know what the quality is like at all. So if you could comment below what the quality is like, that would give me some criticism on how I should do the live streams from now on. And yes, I will get a capture box in the future so I can actually use my professional cameras to record these live streams. Okay, let's see. Okay. Any questions so far? All right. Okay. A bit pixelated, not too great. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna switch up my live stream game in a couple weeks. I'm gonna use a capture box soon, so that'll be better. But at least you guys can get an overall view of how it looks like. So let me try and get a little close-up view of the control panel here. So this is a nice little close-up view here. We have a dial, so we no longer have a joystick. The joystick has been replaced by a dial. This looks like the shutter button. It is the shutter button. We have some other buttons here, like the record button for video. Actually, I'm sorry, this is the focus button, I believe. Not all of these buttons are currently working on the beta version. The app, they're still working on the application, so not all of these buttons are working, okay? So all right, let's go ahead and mount our phone. I'm gonna be using the iPhone 7 Plus. And yeah, okay, so here is the clamp. We have the same clamp as the other iPhone or smartphone gimbals. It's spring-loaded, so I'm going to take my iPhone. Here it is. Here's my iPhone. And all we're going to do is just clamp it in. I'm not a big fan, to be honest, of the spring-loaded clamps, but it does get the job done. I like the ones that you can manually adjust and clamp down. But there you go. That is the spring-loaded clamp. We also have a minor roll adjustment here. So if you do use a bigger phone, you can loosen up a little knob here, and then this arm can go in or out. Very small adjustment there. But since my phone is pretty big, I have to make sure that it's sticking all the way out. And rumors, guys, there are rumors with Apple that they're going to be releasing a larger iPhone, larger than the 8 Plus or the 7 Plus this fall. So I'm curious to see if that larger iPhone will be capable of going on to this gimbal. I want to see. This gimbal is supposed to have 50% more torque and more power than previous iPhone gimbals. So that's very exciting. So yeah, the new iPhone is supposed to be as big as the Note, the Galaxy Note. So that's exciting. I love having a massive screen on my phone, so I always go for the bigger size there. So let's go ahead and turn it on. So here's the power button. Let me make sure I'm showing this right. So here's the power button, right? We hold it down, and we have a little power indicator. Here's our power indicator right here. 3 bars right now, it's 75% charged. Quickly turned on, you see that? It quickly turned on. So as I said before, this is the beta version, so it's not going to be working as smooth as the production model. So I still have to do some things with this gimbal here, but as you can see here, it still works very smooth. Even though it is the beta version, it still does a pretty nice job. Currently on the control panel, we have 2 shooting modes. We have the pan follow and the lock mode. I'm kind of curious as to why they only put 2 and not 3. Like full follow is also very important. And I haven't yet been able to use full follow mode yet. Only pan follow and lock mode I'm able to use. I'm wondering why they decided to go with that. Again, I'm thinking that it's going to be all inclusive on the application that they're going to be releasing. So yeah. Also, we have USB input here. I guess that'll be for charging your phone. But what's also interesting is that we have another USB input. So let me turn this off here. There's another USB. There's some sort of input here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know what this is for. I have no idea. So that's, yeah, that's interesting. And as you can see here, this is another thing of proof here showing you that this is the beta version. If you go on Zhiyun's website, not website, but their Facebook page, you can see that the Smooth 4 logo is completely different than this one here. So you can tell that this is the beta version. Okay, so let's power this thing back on. But overall, the motors, the mechanics of this gimbal are going to be remaining the same. Can't speak this morning, but yeah, it's very smooth. It looks like there's full clearance on this gimbal. Actually, there's a little bit of a, a little bit of a collision here, but this is when you're using a bigger phone. But again, this is not a big deal because how often are you going to be holding the gimbal like this? You're never going to be holding it like that. So it's not that big of a deal. But yes, there is a little bit of a collision there. Overall, I feel like it's a good gimbal. I do miss the joystick though because I was just very used to the joystick. But the good thing is about this gimbal is that we can manually adjust the tilt with our hands. So you can see right there, we can manually adjust the tilt. And I can tell you right now, just from tugging on the motors, there is a lot of torque here compared to the Smooth 3, compared to the Smooth Q. There is a significant amount of power increase in this gimbal. So you can tell there is more torque here. And we have a nice shiny Zhiyun-Tech logo here. So that's a nice little feature there. We have nice metallic accents on the gimbal as well. Nice little finishes here. This is all metallic. Nice little coating of aluminum with their logo. So overall, that's what it is. All right, so let's go ahead and take some questions here. Let's see what we got. What's the payload of this gimbal? The payload of this gimbal, I believe it is half a pound. I believe it's about 250 grams. That's the payload. I could be mistaken. I don't have, again, guys, I don't have all of the details of this gimbal just yet. I'm waiting for the full production model to come in. So yeah, this is the overall look of the gimbal. Again, as I said, I would like to get my hands on a Galaxy Note and see if this gimbal could handle that phone, because currently that is the largest phone, the Galaxy Note. So I want to see this gimbal handle that phone. So what do you guys think about the overall appearance? We're going to have two different colors. We're going to have black, we're going to have white, and yeah. We have some buttons in the back here. One's a trigger that resets the gimbal. Again, I need to learn how to better use it. The one issue I do see about this gimbal is that it's heavily application-based. Heavily application-based. So you're not going to be able to go into your normal phone application and open up the photo or video tab and just expect the follow focus to work. You do have to use Zhiyun-Tech's application here. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm just telling you right now, I use professional gimbals, okay? I use the Crane Plus. I use other gimbals. We don't focus on an application to get our shots. Phone gimbals are much more leaning towards the average consumer. So you're going to have an application to allow you to use all these unique features. You can't compare this to a gimbal like the Crane 2 or the Crane Plus or something like that. This is definitely for consumers. And it's definitely an entry-level gimbal. If you're starting off as a filmmaker, like you're just starting and you want to know if a gimbal is right for you, get a gimbal like this. This is going to cost, I think, $129 or $139. I don't even know the price. It's between those two numbers. I think it's $139. I mean, that's a very good price for a gimbal, especially one that can handle what seems like a lot of weight. I mean, there's a lot of torque here. And it's very quiet. Battery life seems like I mean, I got it when it was 75% charged, and I got it 2 weeks ago, and it's still 75% charged. So, and I've been using it probably for 3 or 4 hours on that charge. So it looks like it can handle a very, very long battery life. Okay. So yeah, that is that. Okay. Can you charge the phone while it's installed? Yes, you should be able to charge the phone. There is a I mean, that's why they included this port, I assume, on the bottom. Again, guys, I'm so sorry. I have limited information on this gimbal. I just wanted to show you. I'm pretty sure you can charge your phone. It's different than the Smooth 3 and the Smooth Q. The Smooth Q had a USB output where you can just easily plug in your phone and charge it, but it looks like they incorporated another USB into the phone clamp here, which I think is designed to charge your phone. The only cable I got with this whole system was the basic USB cable to upgrade firmware, but that's about it. I'm sure they're going to be releasing a ton of cables with the system when the production model is ready. Okay, what are the wheels for? So the wheel, as we've mentioned earlier, is meant to control focus. It's a follow focus system. It actually works pretty well, especially for a phone. I think they did something to the application to make the focus a lot smoother. Because if you know, the iPhone or any smartphone for that matter has very choppy zooms. So if you click on something, you can see how it zooms and stops. They did something with the application to smooth out those stops so it's not as rough. So this allows us to control our focus and to control our zoom. Okay. What is the max weight it can accommodate? I believe it's about half a pound. Don't quote me on that. I don't have too many details here right now with me. I'm waiting for the production model to arrive. There might be some minor changes, but there will be changes actually to the hardware. So yeah, that is the Smooth 4, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think. Do all axes go in 360 degrees? No. They don't, but there's a reason behind it. Let me turn it off and I'll show you. So the roll arm, there's stops on all motors, but there's a good point. I believe it gets you around 300 degrees of rotation on all axes. That's all you need. And they did that in order for the gimbal not to swing around too much, especially during transport. So I don't mind those stops. As a person who's owned like 10 gimbals, I've never seen stops being an issue. I mean, for panoramics, for panoramics, I don't know what I'm saying. For panoramas, guys, this is perfect. This will be able to shoot unbelievable panoramas. You don't need 360 degrees of movement for this type of gimbal. You definitely don't. As you can see here, I'm making crazy movements here, and I'm not hitting any of the stops. So it does a very good job. And it's also dead quiet. You know, you can't hear any of the motors working. And a lot of gimbals have an issue with motor noise, and this one is very quiet. You can see here, I love the ability to manually control the tilt here. I think that's great. All right. Any more questions, my friends? These are good questions we have in here. But this is the overall look of the Smooth 4, guys. That's it. Power bar, power button, follow focus, zoom, control panel. Again, no joystick here. But yeah, that's how it is. My full review of this gimbal will be coming out probably in April after I get the production model. But yeah, again, this is the beta version, and it's a pretty good beta version. It's pretty good. I had very minimal issues with it. As I mentioned earlier, it is heavily app-based, and the app is not fully completed yet. They're still working on some bugs and some features to be added, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty cool. If you guys want, I can bring out the Smooth Q and give you a little comparison. This is definitely bigger than the Smooth Q. It's a heftier gimbal. It is plastic. So yeah, and they chose plastic to make it lighter. You definitely don't want a gimbal to weigh too much. If this was all metal, it would definitely weigh a lot more. MC Drone, thank you so much for your super chat, brother. I appreciate it. Okay, I believe the bottom USB to charge the gimbal and the second USB to charge the phone. You're probably correct. Power and motion, you're probably correct. So this is a USB-C connector on the side. This is a USB-C connector. That's the same connector that the new iMacs or MacBook Pros use. So that is a USB-C connector, which is something I haven't seen on a gimbal before. So the ports are different. And yeah, it looks like the little port that we have on the iPhone clamp will be used to charge our phones, but I'm not sure about that. I don't have all the necessary cables. Again, this is the beta version. So yeah. But guys, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think or what are the questions you may have. I'll try my best to answer them. I don't know everything about this gimbal. But there are some cool features like Vertigo Effect. Basically, when you a Vertigo Effect involves a dolly in or dolly out along with a zoom in or zoom out, so it creates a really distorted image, especially when it comes down to the background. This gimbal can perform that move without any effort. So that's something that no other gimbal on the market currently has. That Vertigo Effect creates a beautiful just adds a beautiful abstract shot to your films. So Vertigo is definitely a unique feature to gimbals like this. So I'm excited for that to be launched. Show a bit more of the control panel. What controls does it have? Awesome. Good. That was a good command, sir. Here's a control panel, my friends. As you can see here, we have no joystick. These buttons here, they're pretty self-explanatory. Some, like this one, aren't. This one looks like object tracking. Again, these types of features are not available on the beta version of the app yet, so I haven't been able to test it out. The ends of the dials do click. I'm not able to use those functions yet because the app is limited at the moment, but they're working on it. Give them a few more weeks for the app to be perfected, and it will be released. On the back here, we have triggers, one down trigger, one up trigger. I know for a fact that the down trigger recenters the gimbal. Not sure what the up trigger does yet. Follow focus wheel. It's pretty smooth. It's plastic with rubber on the side. But yeah, it's very smooth and quiet too. So I'm happy about that. And that spins around like that. Okay, that's a smooth 4. Yeah, awesome. Classic scene in Jaws using that dolly effect. Yeah. Do you know how much it's going to cost? Yeah, I believe $139. Let me get a confirmation on that price for you. Here we go. Okay. Give me 1 second to get you guys a price. $139. That is the final price. 139 USD. That's a good price. That was the price of the Smooth Q when it first came out. It was actually $129 for the Smooth Q, but for $139, for $10 more, you're going to get higher performing motors. You're going to get more torque in your motors. You have a follow focus system. You're going to get better, if not the same battery life. You're going to get a whole new different control panel. It's basically a brand new sort of gimbal. No other gimbal has all of these buttons like this one does. And these buttons are better than having to go into the actual application and pressing those buttons on your phone. They're easily accessible to you here right on the control panel. No other gimbal on the market has that. This is the only gimbal that has all of the features that this gimbal is capable of right here on the actual control panel. So that's a major convenience factor here. So for a lot of you traveling filmmakers, this is definitely the gimbal for you. Great price for the gimbal. Yes, I can definitely agree with that. I don't know how they were able to create this kind of gimbal for $139, to be honest. This is easily a $200 gimbal. Possibly even $250 I would pay for this, but $139 definitely a good price. But how come it's so much cheaper than the Smooth 3 if I'm not wrong? So you have to look at it this way. The Smooth 3 came out about a year ago, right? And technology advances like crazy. Technology advances like crazy. Things can be produced for a lot cheaper now. And don't forget that this is a plastic body. This is not aluminum like the Smooth 4. So the parts, the shell of the gimbal, a little bit cheaper to manufacture. So that's why we have a decrease in price there. So basically with this gimbal, you're paying a lot for those features. The 139 mainly goes towards the features. So that is where the price point is going towards. And yeah, a lot of people are going to be comparing this gimbal to the Osmo Mobile 2. This, in my opinion, after having an Osmo, I had the first generation Osmo. I hated it. Unfortunately, I really, really hated it. And I'll tell you right now that this thing will beat it. This will definitely beat it. It's quieter. Battery life was a joke on the Osmo. It didn't even get me 1 hour of battery life. This thing will get you 15 hours. Like, come on. That right there should tell you that this gimbal is the one that you should buy. God, I can't drink. I can't speak. Guys, I don't know what happened to me last night, but did not get a good night's sleep. I can't even drink. Oh, it's just one of those days. I can't drink. I'm like, it's a mess all over myself. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so this is the Smooth 4, guys. This is the Smooth 4. You see that I'm not as professional now as I am in my like tutorial videos. Like, this is more of my personality. By the way, guys, interesting news. I will be at NAB this year. So if you are going to be in the Vegas area, I'll be at NAB with the Tola Visuals, with Sydney Diongzin, and with James Matthews, and of course, Jason Vong, man. Jason Vong is never wrong, and we're all going to be going to Vegas together, partying it up. We're going to be at the NAB convention, and who knows, man? I think we're going to have some fun times. We're going to vlog. This is the first time I'm meeting any of them except for Jason. Jason I met a few times. But this is the first time I'll be meeting up with Atola, with Sydney, with James. So this will be very exciting. And we'll see what's going to happen. All right. I will be speaking at NAB at the Zhiyun-Tech booth. And let's cover the pronunciation, okay? A lot of people have been making fun of me for the pronunciation of what you guys think is Zhiyun-Tech. It's actually Zhiyun-Tech. So people have been saying it sounds like Zhiyun-Tech. It kind of does, but the proper pronunciation is Zhiyun-Tech. Zhiyun. It's not Ziyun or Zhiyun, it's Zhiyun. Zhiyun-Tech. So that's how you pronounce the name. So I try to pronounce it as best I can, and that's apparently the way you're supposed to pronounce it. Yeah. Sergio says, you're my go-to guy for gimbals, man. Thank you for all the tips on covering a whole new world, photographer going filmmaker. Wow, so much to learn. Thank you so much, Sergio. I have a lot to learn in the photography department. So, yeah. Yeah, guys, if you have any other questions, let me know. I'm very happy that a lot of you have tuned in here. The Smooth 4, definitely the best, I would say, iPhone gimbal right now on the market. And that's because of its convenience factor. I mean, look at all these knobs and buttons here. This is all of these features are usually inside an application of a phone. And what Zhiyun-Tech did is they put all of those buttons, digital buttons, on the actual gimbal. So it's a lot easier to actually access those functions rather than going within the app. That right there is a very big convenience factor. Definitely something that you need to look at. Obviously, we also have another feature of turning the phone around into portrait mode. So there's a little notch back here. We loosen it up. All right, and then all we have to do is turn the phone around. So let me do that. Come on. It's the problem with having big phones. They don't like to cooperate too much. But yeah, we can definitely turn the phone around, tighten it up. So this is also a great live streaming gimbal. You can definitely live stream with this gimbal, guys. So keep that in mind. Okay. So let's see how this is here. Okay, so there you go. Now we're in vertical mode. So for those of you who love to live stream, this is definitely the solution for you. But yeah. You know what I'm curious for Zhiyun-Tech to do? I want them to release a 360-degree camera gimbal. I think I really want them to release something. Even though I don't own a 360-degree cam, which I will in the future, I would like to see something like that. That type of stabilizer is very difficult to build, so maybe they're working on one. I don't know. But yeah, this is the Smooth 4, ladies and gentlemen. Newest technology for smartphone gimbals right here. This is it. Do the motors heat up? Not really. The one motor that we'll probably get will be the roll arm motor, and that is because it has to compensate for off-centered weight. So that's the one motor that might get a little bit warmer than the others, if that's what you're wondering, guys. Don't look at me drink. I'm embarrassing myself right now. Not bad. I didn't spill that time. Good. Okay. Beyond Graphics says, agreed, Sergio. You definitely are the go-to guy for gimbal education, Justin. Thanks so much. No worries, man. Thank you. Joaquim says, well, since you asked, what autofocus mode while shooting at 60 frames per second? So since I tuned in late, do summarize your overall first impression of the Smooth 4. Okay. What autofocus mode do I use? I use continuous autofocus on my Sony A9. That's what I use. What is my overall impression of the Smooth 4? I like it. I like it. Will I be using it? Me personally, no. I won't be using it because I want to use the crane gimbals. I want to use my Sony A9, my future Sony A7S Mark III. Those are the types of gimbals I'm going to be using because I'm all about picture quality. I'm not a big fan of taking video on my phone. I'm not a big fan because I don't have a lot of the functionality that my professional cameras do. But that's just me. If you guys are hobbyists and you travel a lot and you love shooting on your phone, definitely the gimbal for you. Okay? I'm more of a crane gimbal fan. I'm all about the cranes. But if you guys are traveling filmmakers and you shoot a lot of content on your phones, this is definitely the gimbal for you, okay? Sergio said, I asked Zhiyun, man, I messed every time I need to write that company name about supporting Filmic Pro with their gimbals. They say they're on it. Any details you might bring on this? I have no idea about Filmic Pro. No idea. So I can't really quote anything, say anything for that matter. Does it overheat mobile phone? I've got the Smooth Q, and as soon as I link it through Zhiyun Play app, my phone overheats. No overheating. No overheating on my iPhone. It gets warm, obviously, but that's because the phone is actually working. You're accessing an application that's going to be processing video, so it's going to get a little bit warm, but not to the point where it's just going to shut off. What happens if you move a gimbal while it's on? I'm not sure I understand your question. I'm moving a gimbal right now while it's on, so. Here's a good question. Also, why crane over Zhiyun-Tech? Okay, so I'm currently working on a comparison video between Zhiyun-Tech and the Zhiyun-Tech A2000 and the Crane Plus. That's my next video, a gimbal video that I'm working on. Stay tuned for that video. I have a lot to say about Zhiyun-Tech and about Zhiyun-Tech. Both companies they're the top competitors in the market. Zhiyun-Tech and Zhiyun-Tech. They're the two top competitors. So I'm sure a lot of you are going to have questions whether or not to go for the A2000 for the Crane Plus. Crane 2 obviously is above both of those ranges of gimbals because of the functionality it offers. But when you're talking about the Crane Plus and the A2000, you definitely have a comparable set of gimbals there. With the Crane Plus, though, you do get a pound more of payload than you do on the A2000. But that's all I'm going to say right now. Wait for my video. I'm going to compare the two gimbals, and it's going to be a shootout between the two, because that's going to be it's going to be a good video. MC Drone says James Matthews, massive fan of our UK boy. Yeah, dude, I'm a big fan of James Matthews too. He's hilarious. I love his videos. Do you know the release date of the Smooth 4? I think it's going to be March 25th. March 25th. Scott is asking, do I have the Moswa Air? And yes, it is pronounced Moswa, not Moza. Moswa Air, that's how you pronounce it. I do have the Moswa Air, and I did a review on it. If you guys want me to do a comparison of the Crane 2 and the Moswa Air, drop me a line, leave me a comment asking me that you want to see a comparison video. That's going to be a crazy video. You have the Crane 2 supporting 7 pounds. You have the Moswa Air supporting 7 pounds. It comes down to stability and functionality of both of those gimbals. Okay. But yeah, that is going to be a crazy comparison. But yeah, right now I'm working on the Zhiyun-Tech comparison video versus the Crane Plus. Do you use the handles for the Crane 2? Is it worth to buy? Yes. Buy the handles for the Crane 2. You're gonna need them. Trust me. You're gonna need them. You're gonna definitely need them. Okay. The handles are definitely worth it. Why don't you make a course on DSLR filmmaking, man? You give some very nice comprehensive tips. Thank you, brother. The problem with creating a course, I'm by myself, okay, and I need a team. So I'm working on a team, guys. It takes so much. Like if you look at full-time filmmaker, he has a whole team working with him. I'm gonna have to build a team if I want to build a course like that. I want everything to be done professionally, and no matter how good of a filmmaker you are, if you don't have a team, then you're missing out on a lot of opportunity. So yeah, that's why a team is very important. You got to have a team. Just love from Pakistan. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But yeah, guys, that is the Smooth 4. Any questions? Any questions on any of the gimbals, guys? Just give me, let me know. I haven't gone live in a while, so I'm sure that you must have a few questions for me. I like to think of myself as the gimbal master. Probably not the gimbal master, but I like to think that I am. But yeah, I have a ton of more gimbal videos. Yeah, I got a ton more gimbal videos coming out. I wanted to do a video on a green screen for you guys to show you how to properly light a green screen, because I think that's important. I want to go back down to like the filmmaking roots, like basic lighting technique, basic shooting techniques, composition, framing, all that stuff. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, which I hope you are, because I know gimbals are fancy, they're full of technology. It's great, but you got to know the basics, and gimbals are not basic. Okay, they're advanced. I just turned it off by accident. Whoops. But yeah, if you're interested in that, let me know. So that way I can get started on those videos for you. Turn back on, please. There we go. But yeah, let me know what you think about that. Yeah. Can I use a smooth 4 with an action cam? You know what? I think they're going to release an adapter for action cams. So stay tuned for that. I think they might be able to do something with that. But let me get back to you on that. Don't take that as a final answer. You may or may not. Don't know yet. Sol's Media, are Zhiyun company planning to do something with the focus wheel for Crane 2 to use with other company cameras like Sony? Yeah, they released a separate focus module that you can buy. It's an attachment, and it hooks up to the Crane 2 gimbal, and you can actually control the follow focus. Yeah, it's a separate module that you can get with Sony cameras. Beacon Film says, thanks a lot, man. Today I updated my firmware. Now I can use with my Sony a6500 ISO, shutter speed, aperture. Great channel. Thanks a lot. Greetings from Mexico. Mexico! What's up, dude? Yeah, greetings from Mexico, man. Thanks for tuning in. I don't think I've had many Mexican viewers, but it's great to see that Mexico's tuning in. Awesome. Gimbal or steady vest? Gimbal or steady vest? Gimbal and steady vest, they go together, my friend. Do you mean a steady cam? I think that's what you mean. Both give you different looks, guys. I'm going to make a new comparison video between a glide cam and a gimbal. And I guarantee you by the end of that video, you're going to want to buy both because they're going to give you different looks. I just bought the Crane Plus over the Crane 2 because of the size. It's enough for the A7 series. Yes, it is. 5.5 pounds is definitely the sweet spot. Joaquin says, also, I would love to see you review the rigs from Scotty Makes Stuff. He makes rigs for the 4th axis stabilization, and yes, please, filmmaking basics any day. Okay, so here's my take on 4-axis stabilizers, guys. A lot of you think that they work, but they don't. And I'll give you my most like raw opinion on 4th axis stabilization. It's not worth it. It adds to the complications of using a gimbal. You can get rid of those up and down movements if you have proper technique, guys. You really can. 4th axis stabilizers, they work to a certain degree, but they don't get rid of up and down. They just dampen it. So there's still up and down movements, but it's not as pronounced in your footage. If you have the proper technique, if you know how to bend your knees, if you know how to walk heel to toe or toe to heel, you're not going to see any up and down movements, even when you're going upstairs. So it comes down to the technique. I used to have a dual dampening system vest that was acting as a 4th axis, and it was more cumbersome to use than just to use a gimbal on its own. So I'm not a big fan of 4th axis stabilizers, guys. I'm not a big fan. It adds a lot of weight. It adds a lot of complications. So I'm not a big fan, to be honest. What do you think about the Osmo Mobile 2? Ever since I owned the 1st generation of the Osmo, I stayed away from Osmos. I really did not like it. But yeah, I think that this will be a better choice than the Osmo Mobile 2. You get more features, including that follow focus. But yeah, this is definitely my gimbal of choice if I were to choose between this and the Osmo Mobile 2. And I'm just being honest with you guys. Okay. Yeah. I just ordered one from a website without any review. Your live stream is the first I saw. Can you tell anything about the build quality? Good question, my friend. I'm happy that you ordered it. That's awesome. So let's talk about the build quality. I'll tell you right now, usually gimbals that have plastic, you can tell the build quality just by slightly squeezing the plastic. As you can see here, I'm applying a little bit of force on the handle. I'm squeezing it. And what you get out of this is, does the does the plastic succumb to your force? All right, the big words there. But does it make any weird like cracking noises when you press down on the plastic? Does it? I'm pressing it down pretty hard, and you don't hear any cracks. So that on its own will tell you that this gimbal does a good job of withstanding force. So just in case you do drop this gimbal, the likelihood of it just shattering is very unlikely. Build quality, it is plastic, thick plastic, durable plastic, okay? This is not cheap, nasty plastic that you might find on a lot of gimbals that are on the market today. This is definitely durable plastic, especially when we talk about the arms of the motors. They're pretty thick, and they're very well made. This is high quality molded plastic. And again, as I stated earlier, one of my favorite features when packing this gimbal up is that there's a little lock. So that way the roll arm will be able to swing around. So you can hear that little click there. Boom, it just locks in place. So that's a great feature for a gimbal like this here. Yeah. Oh, Netherlands tuning in. Awesome. Awesome insights again. So is this the kind of material, oh, sorry, martial art you need to practice in order to master a gimbal? You're the sensei, man. Yeah, basically, yeah. Jaehyung Ju says, hello, I want to know if it works. Pan and tilt without joystick. What do you mean pan and tilt without joystick? Yeah, let me know. All right, guys, so we got about 10 minutes left. Let's answer any more questions. This is good live stream. I'm happy, very happy. A lot of you guys tuned in wanting to know more about this, so that's great. I have a stuffy nose too. I just got over a cold. Ugh. Okay, any more questions, guys, on the Smooth 4? Hi, how much does it cost? This is $139 USD. Shaquille says, hey Josh, please tell us something about you and your family and your friends. I'm Russian. My family is Russian. That's a little bit of a family history there. So yeah, I'm born in a Russian family. I'm a Russian dude. By the way, guys, a little bit of a side note, not related to filmmaking, but I just did a 23andMe, also known as Ancestry. And that's basically you spit in a vial, you send it to get analyzed, and you get an email saying what your ancestors were. You know, where does your ancestry lead? Like, where's your ancestry from? So I got that just today, and I looked at it, and I was shocked. I'm actually, believe it or not, I am 47% Middle Eastern. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that until today. I'm 47% Middle Eastern. Isn't that crazy? So it's gnarly. It's crazy. Okay, back to the filmmaking stuff. Tilt up and down. Okay, so I'll show you how to tilt up and down. I showed this earlier in the video, but I'll do it again. Tilt up and down. So as I said earlier in the video, we do not have full follow mode yet. Okay, full follow mode yet is not available. So we're waiting for the production. We're waiting for the production model to come out. What's the payload? I believe it's over half a pound. So Samsung Note 8, yeah. So that's gonna be the heaviest phone I feel like on the market. That's gonna be able to be working with the Smooth 4. Wait for the production model to be in my hands, guys. When the production model comes, I'm going to test the hell out of it. So wait for that to come out, okay? This is the beta unit. Beta. So this is not the production unit yet. See, there's still a few issues with the beta unit, but that was just me turning off the gimbal. But yeah, okay. Dun, 210 grams. Sergio, thank you for confirming that. 210 grams sounds about right. A little bit less than half a pound. I think it's going to be more than that, though, in the production model. 210 sounds... Are we sure about the 210 payload? You know what, guys? Let me get the full specs for you. I think I have the spec sheet somewhere. Let me load it up on my computer, okay? I have the spec sheet. If I look for it, I'll find it. Let me get that for you. Okay, wait for it, guys. I'm pulling up the spec sheet now. Okay, let's talk about, okay. All right, let's see here. I'm pulling up the specs right now, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay. Okay. So using the heaviest phone on the market, we can get at least 10 hours of battery life, at least 10 hours. But with the Smooth Series gimbals, I've been able to get 15 hours. When we're talking about slow motion, the slow-mo, there's actually a slow-mo feature that produces high-quality pictures even at super slow-mo speeds. Okay. We have time-lapse features, a ton of time-lapse features here. Again, I can't go into the detail yet until the production model comes out. We're getting, again, we're getting those follow focus features. We're getting those vertigo zoom features. I'm still trying to find the actual specs, which haven't been released. Interesting. I thought I had the full spec sheet. I don't. They haven't been released yet, apparently. So let's go with half a pound payload. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Got it. Got it. Got it. 500 gram payload capacity. So that's over 1 pound. Okay. That's over 1 pound, guys. 500 grams max payload. Just got it. So it should be able to hold the Pixel 2. It's not 210 grams, it's 500 grams. So yes, we definitely have a 50% increase of power there. That is, their site doesn't have the spec sheet yet. Site doesn't have their spec sheet yet. No, it's a 500 gram payload. It looks like, yeah, 500 grams, guys. But yeah, and I can feel it's 500 grams. 210 does seem a little bit too low. What do you think is the best lab blank for filmmaking under 50 euros? I have a video on that. You have to check it out. Probably the comic 50 euros. You're gonna have to invest a little bit more than that for a good lav mic, my friend. That's too, yeah. And try to invest a little bit more. Why did they say 210 on their site? Do they seriously have it on their site already? I have 500 grams on my spec sheet. Oh, look at that. They changed their website. Very cool. They changed their website. But yeah, I believe two-way charging. Okay, so here's the deal with the charging ports that we mentioned earlier. Okay, so we are going to be able to use an external battery that plugs into this port here, and then the secondary port on the iPhone clamp here goes right into the phone. So we're going to be able to power the phone continuously through USB. So that is the explanation of that. Wow, they completely redesigned their site. I didn't even know that. So that's good. But yeah, again, a lot of these features are not fully available yet on the beta model. So I'm waiting for the full version to be released. So yeah, let's do that. Yeah, they completely redesigned their site. It looks way better than it used to. So that's great. They're redesigning a lot of things here. They changed their logo. Very cool. Very cool. So yeah, guys, I think that's all I can talk about for the Smooth 4. Again, I need to have the full production model. And once I get the full production model, I'll be able to take it out and actually film with it. There's a lot of features that are missing on the beta version, but it's a good start to telling me what I can expect. So as of right now, I love it. I think it's a great gimbal, especially for $139. You're getting a deal, a bargain here. So yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned to have more content that's coming out in the next couple days, and subscribe with notifications on. All right, guys. Woo! I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.